Welcome, Capricorn. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I'm getting ready to do a new moon in Leo reading for you, active on the 24th of July. The key feature here of the sun and moon being joined in Leo, as is a new moon, is its opposition to the planet Pluto in Aquarius. And this is giving rise to issues of power and control. This is about simplifying your life so that you don't need to manage or micromanage every detail of an effort, of something you're building or moving forward on. This is about knowing who you are as part of reclaiming your power and trusting that you know the universe knows what will best emerge as the most beneficial pathway forward. This requires you affirming your life, affirming the path you're on, and really this ability to surrender to things that just aren't that important. Your overall energy for this reading, how interesting, is the Five of Swords. It's really describing something about a situation in which you've just gotten tired of fighting. You've given up on trying to negotiate, win, work out something with an individual as a result of a lot of pain and disappointment, confusion, hurtful words that have been exchanged. This feels as though you are trying to be the bigger person by removing the tools of violence from the situation. In other words, changing the way you talk to a person or what you talk about with a person as a means of easing, assuaging this difference, this debate, this argument, really. Let's see what's underneath the deck. The Three of Staffs, which is showing you, in a way, trying to create something that relies on your ability to research, to network, to find new ideas or models to pattern your efforts on. So I do see a sense of waiting, perhaps, on feedback as a result of something you've put out there. Maybe you've sent out proposals or queries for collaborators, and you are looking at how you can have a broader impact in unfamiliar spaces. I'm wondering if that isn't in part a response to this feeling of stuckness or clash that is perhaps closer to home. This seems to be relevant to some way that you're working through resources with others or another, something you share that you can't seem to agree on how best to share it. And this feels as though it goes very deep and is very hurtful, but I see you really just walking away and turning your attention to things that you feel will be more beneficial in the long term. Let's pull a crystal oracle to get started, and we have pulled the citrine, one I rarely get, although many of the gems look like citrines to me. And the key word is abundance. I'm aligned at all times with the abundant energy of the universe. This powerful energy flows through me into every aspect of my life. So yes, I do feel that your focus is on that and is for some reason inclining you to turn away from exhaustion in trying to resolve something that you don't feel is within your power to resolve. I think you are focusing on what you can control and you're releasing this. I'm wondering why you're showing this to me, though. As a Capricorn, I'm curious as well. So this is a general reading, Capricorns. It will not resonate for all of you. If you're interested in a personal reading, you know the drill. The information is in the description box. If you find that this reading does resonate for you, please like this and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I welcome your comments. I love the things that you send to me. It really is beautiful and supportive. And it's not always positive, but all feedback is good feedback. So thank you to those of you that do engage with me. Let's get started with the 10th house. This is the way you see others, the way others see you, I should say, and the way you see yourself in the world. 6 of Staffs is success, receiving attention, being noticed, being recognized, being rewarded for your commitment to the team. So something that you do, something that is a focus of your community activities is about the collective, is about being a member of a much larger body. It's about speaking with that collective voice and enacting your share of responsibilities towards that. So this looks like a win-win in this particular instance. And so I trust your judgment in terms of what arguments, debates, disagreements are worth pursuing and which are not. In the first house, the Lord of Staffs, this is like the King of Wands, and this is beautiful energy as an emblematic of your confidence. This is your excitement, exuberance in pursuing whatever activity you are pursuing. If you are working on behalf of a larger team, you carry out your part as a messenger, as a herald to that body, whatever it may be. You're enthusiastic about spreading the word or about making contacts and looking at the possibilities for a variety of activities that can gain you the visibility that is desired. In the 4th house, the house of your family, your home, your foundation, this is the Fool card, the beautiful Fool card. And this is really a place of, I feel, for you, Capricorn, tremendous release, huge surrender. It's almost as though a wall came down and you are suddenly in a place of valuing and enjoying the journey as much, if not more, than the results, the goals, the prosperity, or the abundance you seek. I think there's 2 things going on here. I think you value the abundance that you already have in your life, that abundance that gives you the confidence to pursue the things that you desire, and also the realization that you've been on this journey for such a long time that it's about time that you began to enjoy it as the main event. It isn't where you're going, it's how you get there. And that feeling of working with all of the elements, forces, relationships that are available that has become a kind of art form for you. Learning when and how to insert yourself in every opportunity, when to give and offer what you can, what your gift is, what you are capable of, and accepting that as you're part of a larger picture, a larger goal, a larger community that you are actively contributing to. In the 7th house is the house of your significant others, and here we have the Magician, from the Fool 0 to the Magician number 1 in your house of significant relationships. This has a whole lot of things come to mind when I think of this. I think of you developing a relationship with an audience, a public, a clientele, customers, students, whoever you believe you serve, you devising a message, a presentation, a delivery, a body of knowledge, a training for them, perhaps a story. You are contextualizing a story about the work that you do or the work that you want to do. You're doing this with a collective voice to some extent. but you are not undercutting or undermining your personal part in this story. So that is the frame around which you are working, almost as though you're an example of how something works or why something works. This is powerful. I can see you writing, certainly, documenting, recording something that has to do with a powerful partnership. And again, this partnership need not be an individual. It can be a team, a group of individuals, or a larger public or relationship to a passion. So perhaps you're telling the story of how or why you are doing the work that you do. You are listened to, you are heard, and you are looked to quite often in your particular area of activity. The first house, the Lord of Staffs, is clarified by the Five of Pentacles in the first house and the Sun card in the third house. Wow. Again, this is a message that keeps coming through. You have consciously changed the way you allow yourself to be defined by others. In fact, you don't allow others to define you. This is hard for you because you have been someone who others projected a myriad of expectations on, and you have struggled, sometimes unconsciously in life, to meet or conform to those expectations until you couldn't. But there is a sense of, you're still struggling with the sense of, by now I should be doing, or by now I should have. And that is hard as a Capricorn who is seen as so supremely capable to release yourself from that burden, to surrender what others want of you as opposed to what you know to be true about you. The Sun here in the third house shows that you're all about exploring who you are as a powerful individual with a gift to share to the world. You are a leader in some way, in a way that is unexpected to you, in a way that totally frames what you learn, what you communicate, how you learn. You feel a great deal of responsibility to share your story and your experience because your voice is unique in a way that is not the norm or is not customary. And in that way, your consciousness is readjusting. Talk about reclaiming authentic power. I do feel that you are being guided, or more than guided, by ancestors. You are part of an ancestral team or body or council. You've come into that awareness that you've been in a leadership position before, and that this is an opportunity to experience that in a different way. But what you're leading, what you're sharing, what you're moving towards, or your vision, is around collective benefit, larger community resources, and the ability to share what you have more with greater equity. In the fourth house, the Fool is clarified by the Strength card in the fifth house and the Page of Cups in the sixth house. Yeah, there's something coming through here about your creative gifts. The story I'm getting now is that your talent, your gift has always been a creative one. And because of your abilities to do so many things well, you have not been seen as an artist or a creative, because that would not sustain you in the way others believe that you could or should be sustained or supported in the world. And yet, that creative ability, that ability to work as a team with others around developing something excellent, beautiful, useful, of value, of quality, is something that has been with you throughout your life. You couldn't, whether you've pursued those skills, that gift or not, that gift has always been with you. It's been a part of all your experiences in life. And in many ways, you are opening yourself up to that, integrating that quality into your mundane, everyday experience. So the Page of Cups is really this flowering beneath this strong exterior of capability and potential to a gentler, quieter, softer, more compassionate acceptance of who you are and what you could do, more comfort being quiet. For many of you, you've had a lot of experience in the great big world, being in positions where you were seen, perhaps where you had a lot of authority. And although many of you are good at that, at this point, you're really trying to accept finding joy, pleasure, and creative fulfillment in the smaller daily activities of your life. The Magician in the 7th house is clarified by the 10 of Cups in the 8th house and the High Priestess in the 9th house. There's this collective vision that keeps coming through, this way in which you live, work, and share among a group of people consciously, actively. Nothing is taken for granted here. Every act of sharing of resources is deliberate, it's planned and orchestrated. You don't do it alone. You do it as part of a community that all take part in this really beautiful, sacred, communal space that represents, at least for you, not simply an alternative, but the way of a healthy, sustainable future. A disinvestment in ownership and a greater investment in resource sharing. The High Priestess here is again showing that that you are tapping into something ancient. You're tapping into a role, an authority, a wisdom, a guardian of wisdom that you have experienced in many other forms. That for those of you that don't believe in reincarnation, one can think of one's life, if one lives long enough, as being a series of lives. And in that way, the idea that you are have gained the wisdom of many lifetimes can still fit into a traditional religious perspective, right? Part of the wisdom that you do know is that nothing you create ever ends. Energy is never destroyed. It is simply exchanged, circulated, and moved around. And that's part of what you are experiencing now. Your ability to step into this really quite collective space and do your part with so much success is based on many, many lifetimes of experience. And that's a wisdom that you keep to yourself because you understand it isn't for everybody. And everybody doesn't need to understand it in those terms. You're very clear that one must respect the cultural terms of others. It doesn't discount the truthfulness of that wisdom by any means. The 6 of Staffs in the 10th house is clarified by the 2 of Cups in the 11th house and the Fool again in the 12th house. This is absolutely stunning. A lot of change here. For some reason, I feel a lot of change, but that it's almost as though you work in the current of change. that your work is in some way a promotion of change, innovation, moving towards new terms, new values. The Two of Cups here in your 11th house speaks to the deeper connection that you're able to make through an extension of your associations, your connections, your families, your tribes, your groups. This is ways in which you want to be more deeply connected with something that is far away. And there is almost like a circling back to your origin, whatever that means to you. This is going to mean something different for all of you indeed. But it's as though now that you are back to the beginning of something important, something that has to do with your vision, your greater values, your humanitarian urges, you understand that you are finally have earned the right to be on the journey of your lifetime. This is the journey that you have come to accept is the main event of your life. The goals, I see the goals as being integrated into the collective body you're a part of. The cooperative environment that you live in or within is part of the success, the prosperity, the abundance you don't take for granted. You understand that it takes work all the time and that you must uphold your part all the time. That's burdensome for some others. For you, it isn't, because you're understanding the exchange in values here, a much more sustainable value when ownership can be shared. And the Fool is really highlighting that this is what the success, the ability to move throughout the variety of experiences you've had in your life has afforded you this appreciation that life is the everyday living of the journey. It isn't getting to the top of the mountain. It isn't having the money in the bank. It is the way we get there. And the way that we get there is what we share. Our experiences are what we share. I'm going to finish up this incredible reading, Capricorn. I feel as though there's so much more here. And Dandelion flipped out. And I'm going to take Dandelion, the number 33. Reduces to a 6, which is the Lover's card. And the Lover's card is very much about a choice, even a crossroads for some of you. So, and here we have the Dandelion. Though the dandelion starts life earthbound and steady, it transforms in the fall into a state where the earth cannot contain it anymore, and it becomes airborne and ready for a new adventure. This card represents being stuck between choices, staying rooted to the safety of the ground, or taking flight to new lands. This decision cannot be made lightly. It requires careful consideration and waiting for the right time to achieve results. But the decision must be made all the same. You cannot wait in limbo forever. If you've enjoyed this content, Capricorn, check out more content here. And until next time, Capricorn, dear Capricorn, namaste.